Ottawa Swordplay's Saturday drill class for July 3rd. Today we are going to be revisiting the idea of doing different strikes, the hidden strikes from different guard positions. I will be demonstrating all of the techniques two-handed, but I got my second vaccination today, so my left arm's a little bit sore, so I will be then doing the actual drill parts with my messer one-handed. Hopefully all of that will still be clear enough for everybody. Still totally worth it getting the second shot. I'll take the pain in the arm for a few days. So as usual though, we're going to start with our foundation exercises, and we're going to start with the foot rotation. So feet about shoulder width apart, weight on the balls of your feet, rotate all the way to one side, and then other side and back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and then we're going to do our shoulder rotations. And we have a modified version of this you can do if you have difficulty, and I'm going to be doing that with the left, where I'm going to hold the sword tucked like this. So this is the same one we normally do with the sword pointed away here, and then I'm just going to rotate this in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm keeping my elbow still just like I normally would. 7, 8, 9, and 10. By the way, one other thing, both of these work better if you're actually lying on the floor, but that's hard to do on the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so now we are going to do the windshield wiper, and in the right hand, or at least dominant hand side, we're going to switch from the long grip to the short grip as we go, like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. My messer has a slightly shorter grip than my grossemesser, and this little point is landing right in the palm of my hand. Perfect. All right, on the left hand side, we're just gonna rotate, and 1, 2. Just like with the other things, I'm keeping my elbow still and tucked. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and we're going to do the pulling, the tsuken. So with the sword central, we're going to keep our arms extended, pull back here, straight back forward to the middle, and then back to this side, back like that. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and our last one is going to be the thumb grip flip. So we're going to hold our sword in the handshake grip and flip it up, making that nice T between our cross guard and our wrist, and then drop back down. 1, 2, 3. As before, keep your arm as stable as possible. 7, 8, 9, 10. We want as much of the action happening in the hand as possible rather than in the arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and we're going to do one footwork exercise, and this is going to be one of our 2 forward, 1 back, except for that we're going to be working, alternating between gathers forward and passing steps back. So you can keep your weapon in some kind of neutral position, is probably the easiest thing. If you want to keep it forward, keep it on the same side as you're doing your gathers, and then switch when you do your hip rotation to pass back. So I'm starting right foot forward, and I'm going to start with my back foot, and I'm going to do the gather so that my feet are in the same relative position, but I'm going forward into my left, and then I'm going to do a second gather, then I'm going to rotate on the balls of my feet, and then I'm going to pass back. And now, starting with my right foot, I'm going to gather forward into my right, and rotate back. Gather, gather, rotate back. Gather, gather, rotate back. Gather, gather, rotate back. When you're doing these gathers, make sure that your back foot does not go further ahead than your front foot. Rotate back. Gather, gather, 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 rotate back. Last one. Gather, gather, rotate back. Almost walked into the point of my pel sword there. All right, so yeah, today we're going to be looking at the hidden strikes from different guards. And we did the same thing a few weeks ago, and we did basically one combination of guard and strike for each of our 4 main guards plus Schrankhood, but we also did the Counterstrike twice. So today we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do a different mix of combinations. And some of these will be a little bit unusual. Last time we did this, we really focused on going through the speaking window, Sprechfenster. Today, that won't always be the case. So we're going to start with one that is pretty counterintuitive. We're going to be doing a Counterstrike from the Boar guard on the same side. So I'm here, and my opponent is striking at me this way, and I want to do a Counterstrike. Now, I should say that I can do a counter thrust instead, and it's really easier, but there are times that you want to do a counter strike. So part of this is just thinking about when I'm thrusting, my intention is moving forward, but when I'm striking, my intention is moving kind of more diagonally. And that can give us better leverage for certain types of things. So when we do this, I'm starting in the Boar guard, and I'm going to start by doing a small circle. And this is a lot like the change through or the let no changer or the wheel, a lot of techniques, but it's much smaller. We just want to let the tip move enough back that we can do that strike. And you can actually do this by flipping into the thumb grip and then back out of the thumb grip, but I prefer to just drive with my pommel hand back to the cut here. So I'm going to come around, and then I'm going to step with my left foot as the beginning of the gather, and then finish my extension back into the strike and step behind that with my lead foot. All right? So it's going to be circle, step, extend, step. All right? And we'll do 10 of those. Circle, step, extend, step. Reset, circle, step, extend, step. Reset, circle, step, extend, step. Circle, step, extend, step. Circle, step, extend, step. Got ahead of my words. Circle, step, extend, step. Circle, step, extend, step. 3 more. Circle, step, extend, step. Circle, step, extend, step. Last one. Circle, step, extend, step. All right. So that's pretty straightforward. And of course, since it's a Counterstrike, you can follow that up with shooting the point long, doing any of the kind of things you would do when you come to the bind. It's all the same. And really, any Counterstrike from a particular side to the same side works the same way, except for from the tower, it's a bit tricky. All right, so our next strike that we're going to look at is the Thwarter. And last time we did the Thwarter from the gate, and we are going to still do the Thwarter from the gate. But we're going to look at a particular version of the Thwarter, and this is one of my favorite techniques in our whole system. And it is the double veler, but we're going to start with the not actually a double veler. So there's a bunch of things that happen here that are contradictory to what we normally do, but we're doing them with purpose, so that's okay. So the first thing is I'm going to be in the right gate, or in the gate on my dominant side, right? And I'll start with 2 hands on the weapon because it works both ways. And I'm going to actually crouch even lower than I normally do when I'm in a guard position. And our partner instinctively judges our distance partly based on how tall we appear. When I'm crouched low, it looks like I'm further away. And when I'm tall, it looks like I'm closer. It is a perspective thing that is useful when it's accurate, but a useful deception for me when it's not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive my pommel down and circle up into almost a Thwarter, and then I'm going to bring my back foot forward. And I'm going to actually bring it heels together, and I'm going to come up nice and high. And again, not something I normally do. So it looks like I have come closer than I really have. It looks like I've moved further forward, and that is the invitation. I want them to think that I'm coming in fast and hard with a strike to this side so they defend there, but if they don't, I'm now going to follow through. So I'm going to continue my strike and pass forward on that side anyway. So it's going to be circle, step, strike, step. All right? So this is not the double veler. This is what I want them to think I'm doing. So circle, step, strike, step. Reset. 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 Circle, step, strike, step. I'm going to switch to one hand here. Circle, step, strike, step. Reset. Circle, step, strike, step. Last one. Circle, step, strike, step. Incidentally, this technique is most clearly demonstrated in Le Kushner's Messerfechten. It is definitely mostly shown as a one-handed sword technique. Now, if they go for our bait and they're guarding on this side, we want to strike to the other side. So this was a deception. Circle, step. So instead of continuing my strike around to my right, their left, I'm now going to strike back the other way and step with my left foot. So ultimately, with the first version, I'm just doing a Thwarter with a passing step with a little hitch at the halfway point. With this one, I'm doing the Thwarter with a gather step, but I'm bringing my feet together at the middle of the gather. So it's going to be circle, step, strike, step. But it'll be back foot, front foot, so I'll say that with these. And we'll do 10. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. Reset. 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 Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. That's 5. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. 2 more. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. Last one. Circle, back foot, strike, front foot. One more note I'll make about this. You can do this from another guard, but truthfully, going from the gate really adds to that. I'm coming in fast and hard because you've got that big loopy strike that provokes a reaction. And usually, not always, usually in a sequence, our first action is intended to provoke a response. So we want to do that as effectively as possible. All right, so the next one we're going to do, and Matthew's going to get mad at me because I'm giving away one of his secrets. We're going to do the parter from the tower, but we're going to do it differently than we often teach it. I mostly, with the parter, focus on using it to get back out of distance. But today, we're going to be using it aggressively. But we're going to be doing it a little bit strangely as well because we're going to be doing 2 steps total with this. So part of the thing with the parter is it is intended to overreach whether the person is closing with you or not. And it's actually described more often in our historical sources with a step forward than anything else. Sometimes the step is not described, and they never really specifically say to do it with a step back. But it makes sense with one of the ways they describe it that they're implying a step back. Anyway, how this one is going to work is that I'm going to extend as normal. I'm going to rotate and step, and now I'm going to lift and gather in. Now, this guy is in the position where I wouldn't necessarily do this. But essentially, if I'm fighting somebody who's keeping their sword reserved, they're in a low guard, and I do my initial extension and they're kind of staying there, I'm just going to lift up. I'm still covered a little bit by my cross guard here, and I have this overreaching capability, and I have a long way to hit my hands. It is dependent on timing to be successful though. So if the person's sword is already sweeping up towards my hands when I'm here, I shouldn't do this. So it'll be extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. Reset. So that was 0. Extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. Reset. 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 Extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. That's 5. Extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. 3 more, extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. Extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. And last one, extend, rotate, step, lift, gather. All right, so that is the parter as a pretty aggressive attack. And usually again, this is, I'm trying to provoke them and they are hesitating and hanging back. So I'm just gonna hit them before they can do anything. All right, so next we're going to look at the shielder. The shielder or Sheilhau is the slice, usually with the short edge on our left side, but it is like the waker or the thwarter, but on our sides. And when we do this from the shoulder, we come across, turn into the thumb grip, and slice down. So we're going to do this one from ox, and there's a couple of ways that we can do this from ox. And the way that I would normally teach this would be to come to Sprechfenster, rotate, slice, and step. And this is 100% effective. It's also pretty similar to doing it from the tower or really any guard. We come to Sprechfenster. So I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting. Now, starting with around the time of Lekushner and then moving later in time to when Meyer is teaching a transformed version of our sword fighting system, thrusts became less common and cuts became more used, especially in competitive, non-life-threatening situations. And Meyer was working with a lot of rules where you just weren't supposed to stab people. So this idea of getting my point online and coming in, even in real violence, was considered inappropriate. How you feel about that is up to you, but it was a factor in how his system worked. And this is where you start to see more percussive strikes, and you start to see more big looping things because you never really put the point online. So when we're doing the shielder this way, we're doing it in response to a percussive cut, a big percussive cut, and we're also doing it not depending on the point. We want to be impacting with the edge. So both of those require a little bit more impetus. And so that's what I'm going to look at. And this is completely effective, not what I normally teach, not how I normally do it, but also kind of fun. So from ox, and you can be in the thumb grip or not, we're going to actually switch out of the thumb grip as we go. I'm going to drop my point and rotate forward as I bring my sword to the other side. And this creates an invitation, which is a kind of provocation. So now my opponent is coming in with a strike on this side. And now I'm going to pull the pommel to loop with the strike forward and pass in, and I would be hitting with my short edge there. So it will be drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. So it's just a big loopy version of the same strike. So drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. I'm just going to pause for a moment and notice that I'm still completing my strike as I step. That again is part of that. It's a percussive strike, not a step. From ox, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. 3 more, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. 2 more, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Oh. So we've got a few more minutes, and just because it's fun, I'm going to continue that action, and we're going to add basically a second loop of the same type from the other side. So when I'm here, I drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. I'm then going to lift to drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step. So this time I'm stepping with crossed hands and striking with the long edge. Ah, yes. So from ox, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Reset, drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Right, ox. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. That's 5. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Last one. Drop the point, rotate, pull the pommel, step, lift, rotate, pull the pommel, step. Holy cow, can I ever feel my urge to get that point online before I step, interfering with trying to do the technique that way. So, again, this is looking at some of our different strikes. I didn't actually do the waker at all today, but from our 4 different guards, doing different strikes from those guards. I hope that that was interesting and hopefully a useful companion piece to the one a few weeks ago, which of course is also available on YouTube. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. See you next time.